Howdy, my name is Kelsey Morgan, and today we will be talking about global warming and how the farming and livestock industry are increasingly influencing the climate and warming the Earth's temperature. But there are new ways to help decrease this global crisis and exciting new technologies used to do so.
Our world is heating up, and this can be seen from the wildfires in the northwest of the United States to the devastating wildfires in Australia that have made it a habit to occur every summer in recent years. We lose our houses, animals, and even people to these. Let's focus in on California. In the past century, the coastal lines have risen nearly 8 inches, and by the end of the century, could have risen anywhere from 20 to 55 inches, as approximately 85% of people in California work and live in these coastal counties. Many of them are at risk of flooding and losing their homes. In the Sierra, the snowpack is melting earlier and quicker, and the dams and reservoirs meant to store this important natural reservoir of water for California can't hold all of this water and puts California at risk for floods and water shortages. And as previously mentioned, wildfires occur every summer, and it has become a norm for people to fear that their city may be the next to be taken out by these devastating natural occurrences. While these are all important, one of the biggest impacts caused by the planet heating up is the damage it does to agriculture. Not only by damaging our land through droughts, higher temperatures, and saltwater contamination, but how the world sees the livestock industry, and specifically the cattle industry. Livestock is responsible for 14.5% of greenhouse gases.
While some people may resort to not eating red meat, this doesn't decrease the number of cows that release methane into this planet, and if anything, it allows more cows to live longer and release more methane over their lifetime.
But now there's red algae with the scientific name Asparagus, and it can also be called harpoon. One cow puts 220 pounds methane into the atmosphere each year. But with this red seaweed that is developed in a lab and then planted in sea farms where it becomes more fully grown, we can reduce the amount of methane the cows release by as much as 80% or even higher. The seaweed disrupts the enzymatic production of methane and converts it into energy to help the animal grow faster. It only takes a clump smaller than the size of a soda can a day mixed in with the cow's normal feed for the seaweed to work and reduce the methane production for cows. Red seaweed is planted in the sea farms by using a special rope that is planted just off the coastline and is designed for sea life to be able to get through and not get caught in it. Additionally, the seaweed rope casing is biodegradable. Many precautions are taken to ensure the safety of the sea and the life within it. Once planted in the sea, it takes about 9 weeks before the seaweed can be harvested. This little seaweed can do so much to save our planet, but how is it harvested? We can't use the same machines used on land, or can we? That is why an Indian startup has designed a SeaCombine harvester. They wanted to get the most out of their design, making it worth the investment, and have made an automated catamaran that simultaneously harvests and replants seaweed in the ocean, almost like a two-in-one. This harvester is currently being prototyped in Indonesia with hopes that it will cut the cost of seaweed prices as it becomes more easily harvestable. A large part of seaweed costs are due to labor costs, as seaweed cultivation has utilized low efficiency labor practices. That is why through engineering interventions and the use of the Sea6 Energy SeaCombine and mechanized workboats, the Indian startup company Sea6 Energy has been able to increase productivity and allow the farming of seaweed to occur in deeper, rougher waters. Furthermore, through the prototypes currently being developed and tested, there are hopes that these SeaCombines can also be customized for the marine environment it is being used in. While a lot of the mechanics in the combine is still kept a secret, the steps that are known include first, running the seaweed through a crown cutter, which removes the younger growth outside the tube net. Then it is passed through a roller crusher that breaks the seaweed inside the nets. The crushed seaweed then falls away and is used for consumption. The younger seaweed is sent through a hopper simultaneously. The hopper is connected to a screw feeder that continuously reseeds the seaweed and puts it back into the sea, where this process can be repeated. Other things taken into consideration while testing their prototypes are the agronomy of the large-scale seaweed farms and how this new combine plays a role in that. This includes having different methodologies and matching the planting material depending on the site and season, and testing samples of the seaweed. This allows them to find problems in the planting process of the seaweed and make fixes to the combine and create new prototypes. While this SeaCombine created by Sea6 Energy helps commercialize seaweed production, some limiting factors are the amount of seed we have and water. There's simply not enough to produce enough seaweed for every cow, and there never will be. Additionally, it takes a lot of people like you to know about red seaweed and enough investors to invest in the SeaCombine.
Either way, through this video, I hope that you can see that there is a future